in the city of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
Yeah. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where our bodies be. Y'all are tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. He is Coach Markus, also known as Markus Thomas. You know what I mean? And I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports. And make sure you guys go lock in at Pro Fan Talk as well. I mean, the content is flowing. We're live on 2 platforms. As a matter of fact, we're also live on my Twitter page as well. I finally decided to invest in Twitter Premium or X Premium, whatever it may be. So now I can go live on X, you guys. There was a point in time where we were live everywhere, but X, you know how the rules go. Nonetheless, you guys, we got a lot to get into. We got some things to talk about. I mean, it's game day. Let's just call let's not even pussyfoot around it, Markus. It's game day. This is every podcast, every piece of content, every conversation we've had with the people and with each other has led up to this moment.
Building up to this point, man. A lot of speculation, a lot of a lot of everything, but it all comes down to this. All of the practice, all of the preseason, all the rankings, all of that nonsense. This is what it all culminates to, and this is when you find out what's what. So, as a matter of fact, let me put my wings on, man. It's getting real, bro. We put the wings on, man. Pop them wings out, man. It's time to get down to business.
For sure, man. For
time
sure.
to get down to business, man. So
this is it's gonna be a beautiful night for football. I think it's supposed to rain a little bit in the city. Not too bad though. Very light. The
wind is up though. The wind is up.
Is it?
Yeah, the wind is very. I'm about 20 minutes from the bridge, and it is very windy where I am in my neighborhood. So I would imagine it's like that across the bridge. So it'll be interesting. You know, that really doesn't come into play unless you're kicking field goals or something like that. But you already know how it goes with these NFC games, especially when we play the Cowboys. There's always something crazy. So I'm like, let's not get crazy and let's just take care of business and handle them. And I think we should be able to do that.
Yeah, I think, just instant thoughts about this game before we really get into the meat and potatoes of the show. I mean, just my instant thoughts. I don't think this is the kind of game where if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, it's week 1. I don't think you really need to go out there and empty the clip per se.
Right.
I think this is one of those situations where you take what they give you and you just lean on that. And not just lean on that, but lean on them. I think what the Philadelphia Eagles did so well, last season is that they had a propensity to lean on opponents and not just lean on them for a series or a quarter or a half, right? They would lean on you just throughout the entire game, and eventually you had to fall, you had to buckle. It wasn't even by choice. It was the way that running game, the way that offensive line just continued to impose their will on the opponent. And then you couple that with Saquon Barkley doing what he did, Jalen Hurts being efficient, the defense being as dynamic as they've been. This Eagles team, I liken it to the UFC, right? Putting somebody in like a full Nelson, a rear naked choke. You know what I'm saying? A guillotine. You know what I mean? It's they would just pound you and beat you and squeeze you into submission.
Yeah. And that's what the expectation is. So it's one of those things where you know how I feel about preseason. The first three games of the regular season are the new preseason. You go on at game speed. You go on against the game plan. You going against the scheme, and you will find out very quickly how your players react, how physical are they actually, how your team tackles. We know that all too well after the 2023 season. So you find out a lot of things those first 3 games, and then going into season 4, you should have a good understanding of what type of team you have on your sidelines, and you can really start pinpointing where you want to attack, strengths and weaknesses, and you should be able to expect what's coming your way. Right now, in my opinion, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going after Adoree Jackson and Sidney Brown right off the rip. Although I don't understand why people are so worried about Sidney Brown. He was a starter at one point in time. So it's not like he doesn't know what to do. It's not like he hasn't been here. You know what I mean? So he was playing well until he got hurt. So I'm more okay. Adoree Jackson is the one I'm a little bit concerned about just because of his age and what we've seen so far. However, this is where I put the trust in Howie. I know we did our homework, and I know Vic Fangio knows what he's doing, and I trust his judgment in that situation. And if it don't work out, I said before, he might start. Adoree Jackson might start, and Jacorian Bennett might finish. So it all depends on how it goes. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and the guy they selected to be the number 1, cornerback opposite Quinyon and Coop will get the job done, and we're not having these questions. You know what I mean? So, but to my original point, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, that's who I attack first, because you can't attack Jalen Carter, because you know what that's going to happen, because they got that rookie offensive lineman that's been talking trash. So Jalen Carter going to be gunning for him. So I think the attack is going to be to our secondary on the Adoree Jackson side, and also they're probably going to put Jihaad Campbell to the test. Let's see what this rook can do. We're going to do the same thing with what's the name? Is it Aziriaku? Ariziaku?
You talking about Aziz? Wait, you talking about Donovan Iziraku?
Yeah,
for Cowboys.
Yeah. So I don't even know if he's starting.
That's a good question. I know he's going to get a lot of play tonight. That's a fact. Drafted him in the 2nd round. He's an edge rusher. You moved off of Micah Parsons.
That kid's getting snaps. Especially now that Micah's gone.
He's getting play. That's a fact. You said something though that stood out to me. You said you don't really understand this discomfort with Sidney Brown, and for the most part, I'm with you on that. I've been somebody who's been more pro Sidney than con Sidney, right?
Right.
I've been more so on the line of, hey, this kid didn't really get that a real solid crack at the start of his career. He was drafted into a turbulent defensive staff with the Sean Desai crew and Matt Patricia. He was drafted into that.
Right.
Then he gets hurt at the end of that year. Misses pretty much his entire offseason and training camp with the Vic Fangio regime. And then he doesn't get activated until about week 5, week 6 of the 2024 season. So at that point, he's behind the 8 ball. Your starters are Reed Blankenship. Your starters are CJ GJ, right? I mean, he was behind the 8 ball, and he got buried. And then you draft Andrew Makuba, right? Now,
right.
I'm on record saying that when Andrew Makuba got drafted, he would end up being the starter by week 1. I'm on record predicting that. Now, obviously, that was not accounting for injuries. Nonetheless, I think part of the reason why people are disenchanted with Sidney is the Andrew Makuba effect.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Also, there's this. Sidney Brown kind of plays, to put it plainly, he can be reckless to a degree.
Sidney Brown is the same player that Marcus Epps was.
Interesting.
He's the same player. He's got good size. He's got great speed, and he's very physical.
Because Marcus Epps would hit. One hit to this day that I would never forget, the hit that he laid on Treylon Burks in that Tennessee game in 2022.
Yes, but you know what I remember?
The
hit he laid on McCaffrey, and McCaffrey bounced out and went the other 20 yards and scored.
Oh, yeah. I remember
he put a pop on McCaffrey.
That was in the NFC Championship game, right?
He lowered his head, and McCaffrey just bounced off. I don't think it was a championship game. I think it was like one of the regular season games. And McCaffrey
it had to be. It had to be the NFC Championship game because
maybe it was.
That was their only touchdown scored. Really, when McCaffrey, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
McCaffrey got popped, but McCaffrey's McCaffrey, and
I was like, you got to wrap him up.
Yeah.
Because when we signed him, my comment was, I hope he's got enough experience now to not just go for the big hit. You know, and that was kind of my thought on Sidney Brown until he got the pick six. Okay, he can catch and run too. So it's not even about who's better. It's about we don't have a rookie back there. I would be more concerned about Drew McCuber than I would Sidney Brown, because Sidney Brown has been in the league. This is what, his third year? So he's not a rookie.
Yes,
he's got experience. So you got somebody in here, they know what's going on. They know what to expect. You're not going to get caught up in the big lights and stuff like that. He don't need no time to settle in. He's been here before. He started games in the NFL, so he knows what the expectations is. And he's been with Vic Fangio for a long time now. So I'm good with Sidney Brown.
Yeah, I think like I said, the Makuba effect drafted him as high as they did, and also on top of that, the pick six. You know,
he's the new flashy thing.
It got people excited. You know, rightfully so. But people got to understand also. I think to lean more in Sidney's favor, or at least give him a little bit more respect in this regard. People need to do their due diligence and look at where those guys were drafted, pick wise, not the round. Because sometimes we get so caught up on the round instead of looking at the spot, right? Sidney Brown, let me sure I got this right here. Sidney Brown was drafted in the 3rd round, 66th overall, right? Andrew Makuba, on the other hand, was drafted in the 2nd round, 64th overall. So when you think about it from the spot, not the round, the round, look at the overall pick. Pick 64 and pick 66 are a stone's throw away from each other.
Absolutely.
So one can argue that those two came into the league with similar draft stock.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
And when we drafted Sidney, he was somebody that I had high expectations for. I looked at the tape. I looked at how he played, how violent he was, how physical he was. I'm like, and also he's a dog. He fears no man. he plays the game with a hockey mentality. He's from Canada. He grew up playing hockey. He plays the game with that kind of mentality, no holds barred.
That's a good analogy.
And I always said to myself, if Sidney Brown is somebody that can figure it out, he can be hopefully minus the injuries, a Bob Sanders type. So, I mean, he's going to get the start tonight along with Adoree Jackson.
Right.
I'm very curious to see how it fares. It's funny. I tweeted something a few days ago, just being funny. I tweeted the moment Jeff McClain reported that the word is Adoree Jackson and Sidney Brown are going to get the start.
Right.
I had quote retweeted that. And again, I was being tongue in cheek. I was having fun with it. I was like, how soon do you guys think how long until you guys think Vic Fangio benches Sidney Brown or Adoree Jackson? How long into the game do you guys think it'll happen? Halftime, court. And some people played along. Some people were like, damn, man, you ain't got no faith in Sidney. I'm like, relax. I didn't even say that. I'm just trying to check I'm trying to check your temperature.
Yeah, here's my problem with Andrew, though, with Makuba, is the last time he got dinged up in the game, like it wasn't like he made a big hit.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was something like he didn't knock the dude's helmet off. He ain't separate the man from the ball. That was a regular old hit on the sideline. Should have took him out of bounds, and you back in the huddle the next play. But, I understand how things like that happen. You zig when you should have zagged. An inch to the left or to the right, you got a whole different set of circumstances. But he had the hamstring in camp. Then he got a shoulder injury. So I don't know how serious it was. Obviously, if he's back on the field, I don't know if he's 100%, but I would assume he's good to go at least. So we might see him in a couple different packages, and I hope he plays to the point where all of that doesn't matter. I hope Sidney Brown plays to the point of, well, maybe we need to let Drew Makuba cook a little bit longer because Sidney Brown had a hell of a game. Because it's always going to be next man up, even if that next man is your top draft pick. So I'm a little bit more comfortable with Sidney because of that reason. He's got 3 years under Vic, or 2 years under Vic Fangio. I'm good with that. The more snaps you get, the more you know what to do. Even when he was hurt, you still in the locker room, you still go on the film. So you got that relationship. So my expectations for Sidney Brown are a little bit tighter than they would be for Drew Makuba.
Interesting. I think another thing we got to keep in mind is, remember when the 2024 season began, or at least coming into the season, we thought Devin White was going to be the guy. We thought Quinyon would be in the slot.
Yep.
You know, we didn't know when Cooper DeJean would be on the field. We thought Isaiah Rodgers would be on the outside. There were so many things that we thought we knew about this defense. And then all of a sudden, game one comes, Isaiah Rodgers is hurt. Devin White is hurt with this phantom injury.
Yeah.
Quinyon moves to the outside. Avonte Maddox is back in the slot. Kobe Dean is starting next to Zach Bond.
Yep. Coop was still dinged up, wasn't he?
Coop was at that point he was healthy, but Fangio still wasn't comfortable with putting him out there just yet.
We didn't know what we had yet.
Because his first game was that preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings, and he looked bad.
He looked very bad. He got beat, had bad feet, the whole thing. And because let's keep it a bean, everybody was a little bit worried after that game.
Yeah. And I think Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean were talking about this on their podcast several podcasts ago. They were saying how, Reed Blankenship was saying the one thing that he noticed about Coop right away was how quickly he picked up the information.
Right.
And how quickly he rectified his mistakes. He hardly made the same mistake twice. So when you think about it from that perspective, and Reed Blankenship being somebody who's like a young veteran, one of the older guys on the defense, believe it or not, and you couple that with how the season went in 2024, you got to say to yourself, okay, I think this Eagles team deserves the benefit of the doubt for at least the next few weeks so we can see what this looks like.
Right.
Because we're going to find out very early, especially in these first few games. I mean, if we're looking at the schedule right now, you got Dallas, KC, Rams, Tampa Bay. Those first 4 weeks are going to tell you everything about your secondary.
I'm more concerned with the Rams in Tampa Bay than I am with the first with Dallas and KC.
But again,
KC got issues too.
Yeah, and Rashee Rice has been suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season, so they're going to be without him. So it's just going to be the Xavier Worthy show. I don't know if they brought back Hollywood Brown. I would have to double check. I think they brought back Juju Smith-Schuster, right? I can't remember. But
Chris Jones is another year older,
right? But just from a pass attack versus secondary standpoint, right? Eagle secondary versus whoever's pass attack. Those first 4 weeks is going to tell us a lot about that secondary.
Correct.
And can they cover this caliber of receiver? I mean, let's really put all the chips on the table here. These first 4 weeks, from a receiver perspective, just wide receiver. I'm never going to talk tight end. Just wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Xavier Worthy, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
Mike Evans is the one.
You're going to find out.
Yeah.
You're going to find out very early what this secondary is. So, I mean, is it a chance that Ja'Cory Bennett becomes a starter by week 5, like Cooper DeJean became the starter? Entirely possible. We don't know, but I think what's important for us as Eagles fans, as Eagles supporters, as content creators, right? I think it's important for us to really be as measured as possible with our criticism and trust the person that got us to the finish line. That is Vic Fangio and Nick Sirianni and those guys, right? Trust Vic Fangio's football acumen. Trust his discernment that the best person is on the field this week. The person he trusts the most is on the field this week.
Yo, Quentin just said Thomas Booker is starting now. I like Thomas Booker. I wish we could have found a way to keep him, but
Yo, you heard me all summer long waxing poetic about Thomas Booker. All summer long, I'm like Thomas Booker. I'm buying all the Thomas Booker stock.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden they trade him.
Is Thomas Booker going? Everybody been talking about Micah Parsons, but is Thomas Booker and Devin Clark going to fill that production gap that's left by DeMarcus Lawrence?
Wait, no, Thomas Booker plays for Raiders.
Why do I keep thinking he's with the Cap? Wait a minute.
Thomas Booker got traded to the Raiders.
Who did?
You're thinking about
who did we trade to the Cowboys?
Nobody.
Didn't they get one of our defensive linemen?
No. I know they signed Trevor Keegan, our offensive lineman, but
who am I thinking of then?
No. I'm not sure, but I know the Raiders got Thomas Booker. That's how we got Quinyon Bennett.
That's my mistake. I don't know why I was thinking of I don't know why I was thinking he was with Dallas.
Nah. But again,
what was I thinking about?
Shoot, where was I? Yeah, I just think we're gonna find out a lot about this secondary pretty early. And I trust Vic Fangio. I trust
Absolutely.
Vic Fangio, man. I trust him. He's seen it all, done it all. And also, I think it's important to note that Dak Prescott in his career is 1-2 against Vic Fangio's defenses. I think that's something that needs to be spoken about. Granted, it's a small sample size, only 3 games. He's played him sparingly. Dak Prescott played Vic Fangio's defenses in 2016, 2021, and 2023. In 2016, when he first, in Dak's rookie year, when he first played against Fangio's defense, had a good game, completed 79% of his passes, 248 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, and that was against the Bears. The Bears were not good, right? Not talented, not good. But in 2021, Dak and the Cowboys go up against Fangio's Broncos at that point. And they had some talent on that defense. They had talent in general. And the Broncos ultimately beat the Cowboys 30-16. The Dak Prescott and the Cowboys were held scoreless for 3 straight quarters. And then Dak ended up finishing the game 19 for 39, completing 48% of his passes, 232 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. That's the second time he played him. So at that point, he's 1-1, and he did not look good at all in that second game. Got bounced. Then in 2023, that's when Fangio was with the Dolphins.
Right.
Dak and the Cowboys lost to Fangio's Dolphins 22-20. And Dak ended up going 20 for 32, completed 62% of his passes, 250 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 fumble loss. They had a hard time just scoring, had a hard time in the red zone, all those things, right? So you got to ask yourself, how will Dak Prescott fare the 4th time going up against, Fangio's cover 2 and his quarters concepts and his cover 6 concepts? That is going to be interesting, right? Because Dak Prescott, according to PFF, he was the worst quarterback in the league at attacking the intermediate. And granted, they were kind of banged up. It was only CD and nobody else. They were doubling CD. The windows got tighter. So there's a lot of reason behind why that is. But you're going up against a team that was the number 1 defense. Granted, they lost some players, but the Eagles were the best team at defending deep. They were the best team at defending everything 10 yards or less, and they were, I believe, a top 5 or a top 6 defense when it came to defending in the intermediate. So again, even though the intermediate wasn't their best stat, they were still in the upper percentile in the top 6 of the league at defending the intermediate routes. So it is going to be interesting to see again how Dak Prescott fares against a Vic Fangio defense that can confuse passers.
Agreed, but not necessarily taking it a step further, but let's get there a step sooner.
Okay.
What is that offensive line going to do with our defensive line? That's what the Cowboys, because if Dak is not, and we going to see how all of this weight loss affects him. Is he a little bit faster? Because he's going to have to get out of the pocket tonight because Nolan Smith is coming. Jalen Carter is coming. And I am really excited to see what Jordan Davis is going to do. Now that he didn't shed all of that weight,
Mhm.
is he going to be the pick that we thought he was going to be? Because if you're the top pick in the draft, if you're that first rounder, right? Being good is not good enough. When you are a first rounder, you got to go above and beyond. Jalen Carter is living up to his status. You know, we said this the other week. Jalen Hurts is playing above his draft status.
I would say
But
so.
there's
Yeah.
so many people that were the first round picks that are just okay. They're not a bust, but they're okay.
Mhm.
But you can't be a first round. That's why we was giving Jerry so much hell when he traded Micah. He got 2 first round picks. You got 2 gambles when you had one in the hand. So I want to see what that offensive line is going to do against Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, and Jalen Hunt.
Yeah.
And you got Moro Ojomo, who nobody talks about. The only time they mention Moro Ojomo is when they want to talk about the Eagles lost Milt Williams. Y'all wasn't paying attention
At all.
Y'all was not paying attention. If you think Moro Ojomo is just some guy, well, this is where the whole disrespect and forgotten comes right back around. Y'all not doing your homework. Didn't y'all learn enough last year in the Super Bowl? You got to be able to watch the film and understand what's coming your way. And if you haven't been paying attention to Moro Ojomo, you're just foolish.
They're so deep at D tackle. They're going to be able to come after this defensive line. I'm sorry, they're going to be able to come after this Cowboys offensive line in waves, especially on the interior. I mean, you're starting out with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, then you got to deal with Moro Ojomo and Gabe Hall or Ty Robinson, however you want to slice it. I mean, but you're right.
Robinson, yeah.
Moro Ojomo is like the best kept secret, and I like that they're not talking about him.
Yeah,
I think Moro Ojomo is going to be a wrecking ball.
Wrecking ball. What's up, Carlos?
Shout out to our guy Carlos Rosado, man. We really do appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, "Game day, no more talking. Time to put up or shut up. Oh, also, Coach and Tone, y'all not bald. Y'all naturally shaved. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Go Birds."
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Yes, sir. I call it purposefully aerodynamic.
You know how I always start the show. You know the vibes, you know the energy, you know where our bodies be. Now I'm gonna start switching up to, hey, you know the vibes, you know the energy, you know where our baldies be.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, bro, the handline started going back a little too far for comfort. So I said, you know what? Hey, might as well go bald. I knew in my early 20s it was coming. I knew it was on that matter of time, so I just leaned in.
All you gotta do is look at the pops. Man. I'm the same way, bro.
Yo, yeah, my pop bald as hell. Shout out to my dad, man. All right, my man, Infamous. Haven't seen Infamous in months. Infamous, man. Good to see you, bro.
Welcome back, bro.
Welcome back, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's well. Hope you're safe. I think you're going into another year at college, right, my man? So shout out to you, Infamous. I really do appreciate you, my guy, for always showing love, especially during the season. Again, haven't seen you in a while, but always good to see you. Let's read what my man's talking about here. Thank you for the super chat. He says, "Tone, I'm back. Let's get this season started. Hail to the Skins. We them boys tonight, though. How about them Cowboys?" See, Infamous is a funny guy, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a fun season.
I'll give him a pass because he said the Skins. He went old school, and I can appreciate that.
No. But he's not. He's not.
No, he ain't a Skins fan.
No, he's not. Don't fall for that.
Okay. I almost fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
He's not a old school Commanders fan. He's not.
Okay.
Let me give you a quick rundown about this guy before we get started. Let me give you a quick rundown about this guy. When we first connected in this content space, Eagles fan, but more so specifically a Carson. I thought he was an Eagles fan. Let's start there. I thought he was an Eagles fan, right? But then Carson gets traded, and all of a sudden, he a Colts fan. And I'm like, oh, wait, he was a Carson guy.
He was on the Wentz wagon.
And then went to get sent to the Washington football team, and he's a Washington fan. I'm like, oh,
look at that.
He's a Carson guy.
Look at that. Look at how that works.
You know what I mean? And then
don't leave mad, just leave.
And then, he stuck around with the Commanders, and they got blessed and drafted Jaden Daniels, and now you can't tell him nothing.
Yeah.
So, again,
funny how that works.
Infamous is my guy, man. So it's always fun and games with him. Shout out to him. I appreciate you. I appreciate him for sure. But yeah, this is So what's a matchup? Because you kind of brought up the Eagles defensive line versus their offensive line, right? Let's kind of lean in on that a little bit more. I look at this Cowboys offensive line, and I say to myself, okay, you have a left guard, if I'm not mistaken. You have a left guard in, make sure I got his name right. I don't want to mess this up.
Is that
you got a left
Tyler
guard?
Smith?
Let me see here.
Tyler Smith and
I think it's Tyler Smith, right?
Tyler Smith, the guy that was talking this trash, or was that Tyler Guyton?
That's Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker, he's the rookie they drafted.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's the rookie they drafted. But here it is. Got it. All right. So their offensive line. At left tackle, they got Tyler Guyton, who is somebody who I thought wouldn't play today, but he's active. They thought he tore his ACL in training camp.
Yeah, he's not 100%, right?
Turned out he broke a bone in his knee. He was on ice. Ooh. They say he's active for the game. Okay. So we'll see how he holds up. That's Tyler Guyton. He was drafted in the first round last year, right? 29th overall. They drafted him to be the heir apparent to Tyron Smith. Big shoes to fill. Then you get to their center, Cooper Beebe, who's entering year 2. They drafted him. Cooper Beebe's a talented guy. Still young, still developing, right? He's not Cam Jurgens level, but right. He's an ascending center. I like Cooper Beebe. Then you get to the left guard spot, Tyler Smith, who is entering year 4, and he's their most decorated offensive lineman. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler and a 1-time second-team All-Pro. He's today their most decorated offensive lineman. At right guard, they have the rookie, Tyler Booker, drafted in the 2025 NFL Draft. Wow, Aziz is inactive.
Yeah.
So was Ogbo. So that means Patrick Johnson got elevated. Ty Robinson's not active. Interesting. This is interesting. So that means they're going with Gabe Hall and Moro Jomo as the rotational guys. And as far as on the edge, they're rolling with, I don't know what happened this week in training camp because we didn't hear about any injuries by Aziz.
Right.
I don't know what happened in training camp. I mean, not training camp. I don't know what happened in practice this week. And Byron Young. Sorry, I forgot about Byron Young. Thank you, Sweet Chin Music. I forgot about Byron Young's presence. I like Byron Young. But so no Aziz and no Ogbo. Those are two guys that they decided to, elevate to the 53 when they were doing their cuts.
So no Smith Aziz is inactive too.
No Ogbo. So that means that your edge rushers are Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, Patrick Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Now, what makes it interesting is that now you ain't got Ogbo either. There's 2 edge rushers that aren't active. So does that mean we're going to see Jihaad, Campbell getting mixed in on that edge?
I would not be surprised if we move Jihaad around a lot. If we do with Jihaad what Dallas used to do with Micah, move him all over that line of scrimmage.
That's the first thing I thought about when we drafted him. I was like, he's our version of that.
Correct.
He's our version of that.
And wait until Nakobe comes back.
That's going to be even more interesting because that makes me curious how they phase him into the action.
Because basically, I mean, think about it like this. Jihaad is a rover now. Jihaad is a rover where he doesn't stay in the same place for more than one play. He's all over the place.
Shout out to my man Alex, man, with the super chat, man. We appreciate you, man, for letting us know about the inactives. Yeah, I knew Tanner McKee wouldn't be active. I'm not surprised Quinyon Green is not. I'm a little surprised Ty Robinson isn't. I knew Cameron Williams wouldn't be. I'm not surprised about that. The Aziz Ojulari and the Aziz Ojulari inactive is a little surprising to me because he was the one I was the highest on out of all those edge rushers they signed in free agency. I was the highest on him. And again, we didn't hear anything about an injury this week. And this goes back to my point that we really don't know what they expect with this defense because we came into the 2024 season thinking we knew what was what.
Right.
And all of a sudden,
we don't have a clue.
But I ain't gonna lie, they just completely. I'm curious how these rotations are gonna go on the edge. I'm really curious.
We don't have a clue.
I'm extremely curious. Shout out to Alex, man. We got another super chat here from G Dragon. Shout out to G Dragon, man. We appreciate you. He says, "Run the ball." Jacob will bend the knee this year. Oh man, G Dragon, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for showing love and showing the utmost confidence in what we're building here at Chalk It Up Sports, man. It means a lot to me. It means a lot. Thank you. Thank you, man. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. That like button is so important in this space, you guys. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button and are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button and are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports. Make sure you guys lock in with us on Twitter at Pro Fan Talk, at DeShields. Make sure you guys lock in with us, man. The content is in full effect. Also, lock in with me on TikTok. Lock in with me on Instagram as well at Chalk It Up _sports. You know what I mean? Also, lock in with Coach Markus on TikTok as well at Pro Fan Talk. He's doing amazing work, man. So make sure you guys lock in. But yeah, that was the inactive. So no Tanner McKee, no Aziz Ojulari, no Ogbo Okoronokwo, no Ty Robinson. Those are pretty much the essentials, right? No Drew Kendall at center, no Cameron Williams. Those are two rookies. You know what I mean? But just getting back to the Dallas offensive line, like I said, Tyler Guyton, former first-round pick entering year 2, coming into the season a little banged up. We'll see how he fares as the season progresses. We'll see how he fares tonight. Left guard, Tyler Smith, their most decorated offensive lineman, 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time second-team All-Pro. He's a talented dude. He's a mauler. Cooper Beebe at center, talented. He's an ascending young player. Let's see what he does going into year 2. Right guard, Tyler Booker, new, wet behind the ears.
Yeah,
they drafted him in the first round, 12th overall. They drafted a guard high. So we'll see who this guy is. Then right tackle, you got Terrence Steele, who's the veteran on the line. He's entering year 6. He's a young veteran. So I think when you look at these players in a vacuum, like a Tyler Smith, right, like a Terrence Steele, you say, okay, all right, they got they're talented, but as a collective, they're unproven. This is the first time this is the first time this offensive line will see the light of day. This combination, this group. This is the first time this group will see the light of day.
They stepping into the fire.
They are, and they're going up against Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and them boys.
They are walking through hell with gasoline draws on.
Yeah, I mean that boy right there, that Texas boy, and Moro Jomo is going to show you who the real Texan is. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Moro Jomo, man. Went to the University of Texas. I think we drafted him in the 5th or 6th round, something like that.
Yeah,
turned him into a player. He's going to get paid by somebody somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But Mozzie Smith being inactive is, bro. What a flop.
Not a good look.
What a flop.
That is not a good look at all.
Didn't they draft Mozzie in the first round?
And they were talking so much trash about him too.
They thought Mozzie was going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Let me double check this real quick. Mozzie Smith was drafted in the first round, 26th overall. Man, just soft. Just soft.
Oh my God.
So yeah, man. Are there any matchups from are there any matchups on the Cowboys offense versus the Eagles defense that you're really going to be paying attention to? I know we talked about the Adoree Jackson situation, right? Are there any matchups that you're going to keep your eye on that could dictate the pace of this game?
Not necessarily matchups. I'm looking specifically how are they moving CeeDee Lamb around? Because that's going to be
CeeDee is going to be moved a lot. I think Pickens is going to be outside.
But that goes to the point I was making earlier about Adoree Jackson. I could see them moving CeeDee around and putting him in motion where he ends up in a certain spot so he can put pressure on a defense, put pressure on a Dory or whatever. And let me be honest with you, and people forget this all the time, and I'm not sure why Dallas doesn't do this. They got Kevontae Turpin.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is fast. He's somebody that can come off the slot. He doesn't quite have cheetah speed, but he's damn close. And in my opinion, the last couple seasons, they really didn't use him right.
Why do you think that? Okay, let's dig a little bit deep into that, because he could be somebody that maybe ascends this season, right? But let's try to tap into that and try to figure out why a little bit. You had him for the past couple seasons. You see how electric he is with the ball in his hands as a return man. But for some reason, you don't trust him with the ball in his hands.
You keep him on returns
in play. Why would you play this game? Why would a coach? Why would that be in the coach's eyes? What is it about the player, despite the explosiveness he has? What is it about the player that the coach would not lean on him in those moments on offense?
It could be a myriad of things. It could be politics. It could be contracts. It could.
But they were politics. I don't know if I buy that part, because it's not like they were the deepest. It's not like Jalen Tolbert was a guy. It's not like, they really were super talented at receiver. It was CeeDee Lamb and everybody else.
I can't answer that, because it's not that hard to put him in motion and throw a screen to him. All you got to do is get the ball in his hands. A quick slant at slot, motion him over from one side to the other, shift him to a situation where he is being guarded by a linebacker. That's an automatic win. That's an automatic win.
Do you think it's partially because maybe he doesn't have a great grasp on route concepts?
Could be.
Is that possible?
It very well could be.
Maybe they don't trust his hands on a down to down basis.
That's it could be, but he don't have to get the ball every series. He don't have to, just like anybody else, because it's happened a billion times before.
Mm-hmm.
You get a good player, you draw up some plays specifically for him.
Okay.
And then you work from the inside out. Once he gets those plays, then you expand it, and then you expand it, and then you expand it. But you start out small. Who cares if everybody knows when he comes in the game, he's getting the ball? All that says to me is he's just become a very good decoy. So you got to make sure that somebody with his capabilities, you got to get him the ball. I don't know if they get caught up in he came from the XFL, because the XFL is just like coming from a small school. You got to earn your stripes and all of that type of stuff.
But he's an all-pro as a return man.
Exactly. And before he was an all-pro, they knew he was good. So are you going to use that piece that you got on your chessboard, or are you just going to make him one-dimensional? But also, and this is a legitimate part, there's only one ball.
It's a very good point.
Got CD and Pickens.
Now you got Pickens. So
exactly. So there's only one ball, and that's a whole lot of money tied up into two people.
Yeah.
So as to why, I don't know, but I'm glad they don't. I'm glad they don't. I'm glad that we have got over that hump, and I still don't know. Hell, the matchup I want to see, like I said before, I want to see our defensive line against their offensive line, because I don't think their offensive line can hang with us. Our offensive line is experienced and tested. Theirs isn't.
As a collective.
Our defensive line is experienced and tested against the best of the best. We put Patrick Mahomes on his ass in the Super Bowl, and we didn't even blitz. Stop playing with me. Is your offensive line good enough to handle that? I doubt it. But we're going to learn today. So they haven't faced anybody like our defensive line, that offensive line. And on top of that, you got new coaches coming into play. Why is Eberflus all of a sudden going to be so much better than he was in Chicago with his defense?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm looking at a tweet here.
I know you can focus a little bit more now that you not have the head coach moniker on you. You got less things to worry about. So there's merit in that. You got less to worry about. So now you can focus on what you need to do. However, your scheme is the scheme.
Right. That's a good point. I'm looking at a tweet here from Anthony DeBona. Shout out to who was it that suggested this? Shout out to I want to make sure to give him their credit here. My man Alex. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate you, man. Anthony DeBona tweeted this regarding the edge position for the Eagles tonight. He says, Eagles going light on the edge is definitely interesting. But Azeez Ojulari was inconsistent throughout training camp and the preseason. That's very true. In the matchup against the best returner in the NFL, Philadelphia has obviously prioritized the special teams value with Patrick Johnson.
Agreed.
That's an interesting angle. And I like that angle.
Devontae. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to
not kick the ball to Devontae. That Devontae Turpin. That is bad for business. Don't do it.
I'm glad you said that, because if I'm Michael Clay, I'm telling Braden Mann, don't even bother to kick it in bounds. I trust our defense to
handle it.
Just don't even kick it in bounds.
I agree. You get one kick.
Don't even kick it in bounds. And if you do kick it in bounds, it got to be a touchback. Or you got to pin him deep. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Don't even give him opportunity, because he's that lethal doing that. I respect Devontae Turpin a lot. He's that lethal. I've seen him do it in too many different occasions against too many different teams. No matter the situation, he is scary back there.
I agree.
He is scary. And also, again, Patrick Johnson had a really good offseason, man. He had a really productive preseason. He may see some reps on the edge. You never know. But what Anthony DeBona tweeted here makes a whole lot of sense. Shout out to Anthony DeBona, man. I got to try to get with him.
I efforted him a couple times.
Yeah. So yeah, I got a super chat here from Miss Fanny. Shout out to Miss Fanny, Eagles fan. We appreciate you. Thank you for the $10 super. She says, "Hey, Coach and Tone, just show us some love before I leave to go bird watching."
Nice.
Rocking the Sproles jersey tonight. Let's win this and move on to the next. Hashtag fly like an eagle. That's tough. The Sproles jersey. That's niche. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I wish we had Sproles.
I like Sproles, man. I always liked them.
Yeah, we had them and we didn't use them.
Yeah, then he got hurt.
Not Sproles, but when we had Swift.
Oh yeah,
Swift was the closest thing we had to Sproles. Since Sproles left.
Yeah, Swift. We didn't really. I feel like we definitely we got him paid still, but we definitely underutilized him.
I thought that was a wasted effort. As good as our offensive line was, and we had Swift back there where you couldn't see him because he was so small, but he was fast and explosive and wasn't afraid to. We wasted him.
Yeah.
That's water under the bridge, though. Water under the bridge.
Let me ask you, let's stay on the offensive side of the ball for the Cowboys. Let's stay on that side. Dak Prescott historically has been productive against the Eagles, right? From a statistical standpoint. He's yet to throw an interception against the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, in Lincoln Financial Field. I believe he's yet to throw an interception at Lincoln Financial Field, if I'm correct about that. But he's been pretty productive from a stat perspective against the Eagles. What's your expectation from Dak Prescott coming into, what is this, his 10th season?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is a veteran. He's played a lot of football games. He's, let's see, 1, 2, 3. He's entering year 10. Entering year 10. And for his career, he only has 2 playoff wins and 5 playoff losses. But again, this is week 1, not the playoffs. What's your expectation from Dak Prescott coming off of the hamstring tear, rehabbing throughout the season and throughout the offseason? What's your expectations from him? What are you looking for from Dak Prescott?
Like I mentioned earlier, Our defensive line should be able to test him under pressure. We gonna test that hamstring tonight because he is going to get flushed out of that pocket at some point in time. Now, how good is he going to be on the run? How good is he going to be throwing across his body, or if he's going the wrong, if he's scrambling to his left, how turn them hips around and all of that type of stuff. So, how good can he be on the run? And I think because he's lost a little weight, and I always think back to this specific play. I want to say it was 22 or 23. I think it was 23, where we sacked him. I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was CJ Gardner-Johnson, but it wasn't CJ. The DB on a blitz hit him square and just bounced off of him. Didn't bring him down. Had him dead to rights, wrapped around and everything, and that just shredded him off and kept the play going. And I was like, damn, I didn't realize he was that strong. Now, when you lose a little bit of weight like he's done, he's svelte now, and he doesn't have as much mass as he used to.
I've heard about that.
That can come into play.
Do you know the number as far as like what he's dropped? Are we talking 10 pounds here, 15 pounds there? What do we?
Let me see.
Because I did hear that he slimmed up. He's trimmed up a bit. I did hear about that.
Let me see.
Because I don't know. Like you, to the point you were making, I don't know if that bodes well. Just from an ability to extend the play, you already lost a couple. You already lost a couple RPMs. You know what I'm saying?
I think he got a little bit slimmer, but I think is like slimmer from the standpoint of like he got the body fat down. Not that he lost a lot of weight, he just looks slimmer because he's not as soft and pudgy. Yeah, he's a little bit more leaner. So
okay,
but like we'll see how that's going to affect him in the pocket. You got a little bit more weight to move around at the previous weight. Now you don't. And when Jalen Carter gets a hand on you, or Nolan Smith gets a hand on you, or Jordan Davis gets a hand on you. So just different things like that, man. But at the end of the day, I just need our defensive line to be in his face. Because I don't care who you are as a quarterback. If you got people in your face, you can't get comfortable, and you tend to make mistakes.
Yeah, I think this needs to be a really big night from the interior guys. This needs to be a really big night from the interior guys. If they can abuse that inexperienced interior with the new right guard and a second-year center, right? I mean, obviously, again, Tyler Smith, two-time Pro Bowler, he's good. But if they can somehow take advantage of the inexperience on that line, I think, and again, I'm looking at Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. I can't get Jordan Davis's evolution out of my mind. I really think Jordan Davis is going to have a phenomenal season.
I agree.
I really, really do.
I agree. And the way our defense is built, it's not going to be from gaudy numbers. He's not going to have crazy sacks. He is going to have some TFLs, and he is going to. I'm hoping that Jordan Davis is going to be the king of pressure. He might not get home, but if you can flush that quarterback out at his size, get them big paws up in the air, you're going to get some pass breakups, and you're going to get some hurries to force the quarterback to throw the ball away or make a mistake.
For sure. And shout out to Trent Wright with the super chat. Rocky, he says, rocking the Kelly Green, her jersey tonight.
There you go.
Appreciate you, Trent. That's what's up, man. But yeah,
tell me this. What did the Dallas offensive line do last year that would concern you?
That would concern me from the perspective of, as far as like, what did they do well that concerns me, or what did they do that
let me rephrase it. What has Dallas's offensive line shown you that would convince you that they can stop our offensive line? Our defensive line.
Nothing.
There you go.
Nothing.
And we got better.
And if I'm not mistaken, they had Zach Martin last year, right?
Correct.
They don't have him anymore. You got a young guy at that right guard spot who came into the league already talking.
Already talking.
We're going to see how that goes.
Nobody can stop Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis is a walking double team. Nolan Smith is going to beat you off the edge. Jalen Hunt is going to beat you off the edge. Moro Ojomo is going to beat you, just going to drive you back.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen Dallas does not have all pro linemen on the offensive side of the ball. So I would even go far as to say, is Dallas's offensive line better than the Chiefs?
No, I don't think so. They only had one all pro lineman, and that's Tyler Smith. And that was the second team all pro. I think he got that like in 2023, maybe.
There you go.
So Tyler Smith is he's their only decorated offensive lineman. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time second team all pro. Other than that, everybody on the offensive line is pretty, I guess,
Saquon warming up.
For lack of better terms, average. Let me ask you, because you mentioned something earlier. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It's escaping me. It'll probably come back at some point. Let's transition to the offense side of the ball for the Eagles quickly and talk about that Cowboys defense, right? Because the Eagles, 10 of 11 starters have come back.
Yes.
No Mekhi back then, but I'm very comfortable with Tyler Steen at right guard. Very comfortable.
Agreed.
Landon Dickerson is healthy. He's going to play. They have everybody. Everybody's suiting up tonight. What's your expectation from this Eagles offense going up against this new look Cowboys defense? And I could probably ask you the same question you asked me regarding that Cowboys offensive line. Let's flip that and use that same logic, that same line of questioning for that Cowboys defense. What have they shown? What have they shown you or shown us that can give us any cause to pause?
Prove to me you can stop Saquon Barkley. To stop Saquon Barkley, that means you have to prove to me that you can stalemate, not necessarily beat, but you can stalemate our offensive line.
Now that begs the question, how desperate or how willing are they to prove that? And that takes it a step further.
That's where the game plan comes into play.
Load the box. Are we talking 5 extra guys, extra 2 guys?
And now,
what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up?
And to that exact point, are teams a little bit more afraid to do that because of what they saw in the Super Bowl
and the NFC Championship? Because it's not like Washington didn't try.
Exactly,
they tried. The first play of the game, they loaded the box.
When Jaylen needed to light him up upstairs, he lit him up.
Right. The last time you saw Jalen Hurts in that offense, Saquon got stifled, and Jalen Hurts lit up one of the best defenses in football against one of the best DCs in football, and Steve Spagnuolo.
So again, Dallas has got to pick their poison. Isn't Deron Bland hurt?
He's playing. He's playing. He's coming off of a season. I think he fractured his foot in 2024. He missed the first half of the season, came back for the second half. He was in and out of the lineup, but because of the I guess the nature of the injury, he wasn't the same player. Came off one of his worst seasons. Trevon Diggs, I think he was there for like the first part of the season, first half of the season. Then he ended up missing like the final 6 or 7 games because he had to get surgery on that same left knee. He tore the ACL in 2023. So you're looking at 2 corners and Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland who are young in their mid to early 20s who are paid, but you're asking them to do a lot. Coming off of the injuries they're coming off of, you're asking them to do a lot, and you're compromised in the front 7.
Yes,
you don't have an established pass rush. You don't.
The one thing that I guess kind of concerns me, but he didn't practice all preseason is AJ Brown. And I'm saying that from the standpoint of let's slant him all day until they stop it.
Yeah, slant and go ball him all day. Because I think those are the two things that, like, no matter how many games they played or didn't play together, they got that down packed. They are Hurts and AJ Brown are literally that's symbiosis when it comes to the go balls or the quick slants.
And oh, by the way, Devontae Smith. And oh, by the way, Dallas Goedert. And oh, by the way, Saquon is still back there. And oh, by the way, Jalen Hurts can still pull it and run with it.
And oh, by the way, you got Dallas Goedert at tight end. Like, it's so easy to forget about guys on this team. And then all of a sudden you start really doing the science. You're like, the Cowboys got their hands full.
Got their hands full.
And that's just the thing. It's not even like I think that the Cowboys, it's just too much. It's too much for them to try to account for. There's too many ways they can get got. You want to say, and because they can't stop the run, I fully expect them to sell out. Because here's the thing. Our confidence in Jalen Hurts is at an all-time high, right?
Correct.
But game planners and coaches still believe their best route to victory is the lesser of two evils.
Right.
Stopping Saquon, forcing Jalen Hurts to make decisions. And I mean, if you don't know by now, then I can't help you. I mean, Jalen Hurts has proven that when you need him to be the guy you need him to be, he's going to be that guy.
He's going to be that guy.
Simple as that.
He's going to be that guy. I saw this chart. I'm glad I found it, where they kind of rank the
this is Elliott Shore Parks is doing.
Yeah. I think he's a little underserved on the defensive line because I think that's where we have the biggest advantage. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I agree with the linebackers, and I believe he put this out before the Micah trade.
I also think he's given the Cowboys a bit too much credit at receiver. I obviously know they got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, but I don't think their receiver room is as deep as the Eagles.
I agree, but I'm not going to take anything away from CeeDee Lamb and Pickens.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, they are what they are. Because if you're looking at your number one X and Y, okay, I think that.
You know what? I'm probably splitting hairs with that. I think I'm splitting hairs with that, right? Because again, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, talented duos.
The question is, who is everybody else?
And I think, and hence why the Eagles are ahead of them. And I think again, it's not like they're right. It's not like they're comparable with the Eagles, but I probably would have had them maybe a notch or two lower. But it's okay. I'm splitting hairs about that. I think it's interesting though that he has Jalen Hurts where he has Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott where he has Dak Prescott. Not because I don't believe him. I just think it's interesting how much Dak Prescott's stock has fallen, just from a regular season perspective.
Right. Sweet Chin Music said it's raining.
He said it's raining. Heavy dose of the run game for sure. Yeah, I definitely heard it was going to rain. The question is it going to sustain itself? Is it going to?
Yeah.
Is it going to be misty?
I'm looking at NFL Network, and the dude they walking. They got the plastic bags on them walking behind,
or the ponchos.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like it's coming down hard because he was. I think that was who was that? Was that Palacero? Whoever it was, he was. He didn't have anything on. It was just his blazer, and it wasn't like it was coming down, but it looks like it might be drizzling down there. So, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Saquon Barkley coming into his second season with the Philadelphia Eagles, reigning Offensive Player of the Year. We know the season he had last year. I'm looking at the Cowboys and I say to myself, I fully expect you to load the box, but I don't even think y'all physical enough to even play with these boys, play with this Eagles offense. I don't think they're physical enough. I think they're too small. And I just think if you had a prediction for Saquon's production tonight, what do you think it would be?
Prediction 130
130 total, 130 rushing.
rushing because they don't throw him the ball enough.
To that
So
point, do you think this could be a year where Patullo? Let's get into the Patullo angle. We haven't really talked about Patullo. We have not really ironed out the wrinkles of that conversation. Patullo has been with the Eagles since 2021. He is the new OC. The team knows him, they respect him, they're familiar.
Right.
But he's still a first-year OC with this team.
Right.
If you're Kevin Patullo, if you're in Kevin Patullo's ear, if you're his conscience, if you're his Jiminy Cricket, what are you telling Kevin Patullo in this game? What are you telling him his approach should be?
Do what you've been doing the last 2 years. Because he's been here. So he knows the rhythm. He knows Jalen Hurts. They're not strangers. They're not trying to find each other out.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole aspect of the relationship was non-existent because he's been here.
Mm.
So he's seen enough to know what works and what didn't. Even last year with Kellen Moore, he was there enough to know what works and what didn't. We had issues with some of the things that Kellen Moore was doing, but Saquon was so good, it covered up a lot of the stink. So I trust the fact that he gets in there and he watches film and he does everything he needs to do. He knows what to do and what not to do. He knows what works and what doesn't work. He's probably got some ideas where, well, I wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So when you go back and you look at the macro of everything that happened last season, and you just take a look at all of the lows, all of the bad moments, and then you know, compact those bad moments and you say, okay, why did this happen? And how can I make sure it doesn't happen again?
Mm.
And of course, he's been there on the offensive side and everything he's done as an offensive coach. So he's got that. So I'm sure he's going to have a good game plan. And you got all your pieces on the board. Everybody's healthy. If you're not giving it to Saquon, you better be throwing it to A.J. Brown right off the rip. I would think that the obvious thing to do is first play should be, in my opinion, Saquon off tackle to the right. You run behind your Hall of Famer, Lane Johnson, and again, make them prove that they can stop the run.
Yeah, I like that. Run off tackle. Find out how, test their gap discipline, test their discipline on the edge, test if they find out if they arm tackling that night.
Correct.
Like because there's something about that visual. Because I think about the pitch from Hurts to Saquon Barkley in the NFC Championship game, right?
Yes.
When you pitch that ball and Saquon gets into space, at that point he's diagnosing.
Correct.
But as a defender, knowing what you know about this player, I can only imagine what you're thinking in your mind. Just tackle him. Just tackle him. Just don't break it. Just don't miss the tackle. Just don't miss the tackle. Just don't miss the tackle. That's and you're a former running back. You played this game. I can only imagine the amount of time passing in your brain once that ball hits your hands in that open space behind the line of scrimmage, and now you're diagnosing it, and the defenders have to be disciplined in tackling you in space as well. I feel like that would rack my brain as a defender, knowing the player I'm going up against.
That's why I hate when they run the ball from gun formation so much. Because you give up 2 yards. 2 yards is a step.
Mm.
A step is roughly 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. Not even that slow. But what that does is that gives you that extra split second to decipher what the defensive line is going and to set up your blocks. That's why I hate running from gun formation. I would rather them run from pistol all night. Because at pistol, it means your running back is 7 yards deep. So he's got plenty of time to get the ball deep, and then he's got even more time to read his blocks. Now, on the flip side of that, when you're dealing with a running back like Saquon Barkley, the best in the business, number one, he the Duke of New York. You know what I mean? So he's as a defense, what they tell you is you got to stay disciplined with somebody like that. The minute you go outside of what you're supposed to do, you leave a lane open. And he is somebody that can find that lane and exploit it. So the question becomes, can the Dallas defense play disciplined football? When somebody thinks that they can overshoot it a little bit and get to the gap before the offensive line hits it or something like that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you gambling every time. You gambling. We talked about that during the Super Bowl. Are they going to bring 8 men in the box and gamble with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown on islands on the corners? They did, and they lost. You got the same type of gamble on defense. Linebackers, you got to keep your responsibility, keep your lanes. Make sure you take care of your assignment first, because if you going all willy-nilly and you trying to make a play, you leave yourself exposed. And a running back like Saquon Barkley will take advantage of that every time.
Yeah, I agree. For sure. Shout out to my father, Antonio DeShields Sr., man. I appreciate you for locking in, Dad, as always, man. You know the love, you know the vibes, man. He says, light rain during the game, heavy rain already passed. Go Birds.
Nice.
My dad is a, how do you say, a weather enthusiast.
Okay. I can tell him I got a YouTube channel for him.
this Marcus, this crazy motherfucker watches the Weather Channel just for fun.
Check out. Hey, senior, check out Ryan. The website is the YouTube channel is called Ryan Hall, y'all.
Ryan Hall, y'all. Literally, like Ryan Hall, y'all.
Ryan Hall, y'all. He does 24-hour weather on YouTube.
Really?
Yes, I tune into him before I would tune into the Weather Channel. Absolutely.
That's crazy. Like, he loves natural disaster movies. That's his shit. You know what I'm saying? He has like his own personal like ranking, like system of like top 5 or top 10 natural disaster movies. As a matter of fact, we was on the phone not so long ago just ranking our top 5 natural disaster movies. He really loves the rain. One of his favorite disaster movies is Hurricane Heist.
Is what?
Hurricane Heist. I don't know if you know about it, but basically, make a long story short, this town or whatever is experiencing a hurricane, but this town is also the home of where I guess this mint or this money refinery place is, where they transfer the money and they swap them out for new bills and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And basically this group of people try to rob this mint or this money place. They try to rob it in the midst of a hurricane. It's a pretty fun movie, actually. It's a fun movie. Nonetheless, shout out to my dad, man. I appreciate you, man. Nonetheless, so yeah, again, trust my dad, man. If you don't trust anybody else, trust Ryan Hall and trust Antonio DeShields Sr., man. He's a weather psychopath.
Tell him I put the hey senior, I put the link in the chat.
Shout out to my dad, man. I appreciate him, man. But yeah, let's see. We've been live for about an hour, 13 hour 15. Kickoff is in less than an hour.
Yeah, man.
Let's transition to just Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Let's let our final topic be Jalen Hurts. And as a matter of fact, did you see the America's game and the Eagles hype video on YouTube?
Yes.
So you see both those things.
Very interesting.
So you saw the black and white hype video they did with the toughness thing, and you saw America's game. Okay,
I like that.
Okay,
very different tone. Very serious.
Very different tone.
Very insightful. It wasn't a highlight tape, which is why I liked it.
Yeah, it was. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that, right? And before we tap the nerve of Jalen Hurts, what was some of your takeaways from? Let's just start with the quote unquote hype video when Nick Sirianni asked his guys, his leaders that he felt like were his leaders on the team. What was your perspective on the nature of those conversations? What you heard from various guys who stood out to you? Just give me your overall takeaway from that Eagles hype video.
So the best thing about it was, number one, they were talking. It wasn't a voiceover, right? And when you're in a situation like that, Sirianni's sitting on the couch. And the part I liked the most was when Nolan Smith was like, "Y'all ain't gonna tell me I ain't going back in the game."
That's a favorite part.
But when you're in that setting, it forces you to think. And like, you really got to think and recollect, how was I feeling? What was going on? What was the situation? You really got to take a total analysis of the entire situation and the depth and the gravity of it. So you get real insightful on why you did certain things. What your it's a very weird feeling when you're on that field. The energy from the crowds and everything is a tangible event. That's the best way I can describe it. If you've never walked into a stadium with 50,000 people, it is incredible because you feel the energy when everybody's screaming. Even when I go to the alumni stuff and everybody's doing the Eagles chant and we on the field and everybody's looking at you, that is a tangible feeling. And then you magnify it when you're the ball carrier, when you're the quarterback, when you got the sack. It's magnified because everybody is pointing at you. And it is a tangible feeling, and it does something. I don't know if it triggers the endorphins or whatever stuff goes off in your head, but it is a physical feeling. And I'm saying all that to say, when they are sitting on that couch, all of that stuff comes back, and you really get an in-depth look at, what was I thinking about? Why did I do why did I tell the trainer to F you, put my arm in a sling, and I'm going back in the game because this is a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he said, "I'm not asking, I'm telling you."
Exactly. And he did what he had to do, and he made the play. He made the play.
So that content humanized them to a new degree.
Absolutely. The whole thing with the banner and all of that type of stuff, it wouldn't have made sense if they talked all of that talk about the ring ceremony being over. It's time to move on, and then everybody want to watch the banner drop. It wouldn't have made sense. So they just going 10 toes down to the mindset that they got in that locker room right now, because all that's going to do is when they lower that banner down and the crowd goes nuts, and then they come out of the tunnel, Philly's about to flip. Yeah. So they got all of that energy, and all I need them to do is transfer that to that kickoff and keep that momentum going and just pound Dallas. Yeah. Just beat them down.
These guys are definitely treating this like a business event. You know, AJ Brown and Devontae came in suits. Correct. You know, guys are coming business casual. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you, Kelly.
Suke. Yeah, we got a new member here for my man Pro Fan Talk. Shout out to Kelly.
Appreciate you, Kelly.
Ashbury, we appreciate you. Ashbury, we appreciate you.
Kelly, I'm always looking for more female fans. Holler at me. I got two sisters. They would smack me upside the head if I didn't.
For sure, man. We appreciate you, Kelly.
Appreciate
it. But like, these guys are very business oriented as it pertains to this season in particular, right? And typically, you know, they say when you come off the Super Bowl, you lose guys. There's a certain thing of a Super Bowl hangover. You know, how can guys manage those emotions, manage those expectations? And I think the Philadelphia Eagles have already experienced the difficult part of this thing. Yeah, I really, and this is what I mean when I say that. 2022, they took the league by storm. Nobody saw them coming.
Correct.
They made it as far as they did with the talent, with the roster they did, and lost by 3 points in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They come back the following season in 2023. Start off 10-1, 11-1, but there was something off. Something off. But they were still winning games, comebacks, you know, being down by double-digit points multiple games in a row, still finding ways to come back. That was a very interesting season. Right. And then all of a sudden the bottom comes out, and they end the season 11-6. And people are questioning the relationship between the head coach and the quarterback. People are questioning if Nick Sirianni is going to be here in 2024. So many questions.
Everything.
So many questions, so many concerns. So many expectations coming off that season. Because coming into the 2024 season, everybody was like, will this team be able to overcome the 2023 setbacks. And
Correct.
will there be a moment in the season where the Eagles just collapse? People were waiting for it. People were quite literally waiting for it.
Wasn't it Nick Wright that said 22 was an aberration?
Yes. And when the whole Panthers game happened and the whole Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown thing happened with BG, it got a little funny, and people were just waiting for that to happen. People were waiting for the bottom to fall, and it never did. And they went on the run that they went on, and so on and so forth. Here we are now. I'm willing to argue this team has already been through that pressure. There's nothing more that they can experience other than more winning.
Because remember, they were saying that how difficult it was to get back to the Super Bowl after you lost the first one. Remember that?
Yes, that's a proven trend outside of Jalen Hurts obviously broke that, but
correct.
The history is history for a reason, and you tend to reference history in order to know where you're going. You gotta know where you've been. Correct. History is a true indicator of where we're going. And I gotta be honest, man. What the Eagles were able to accomplish, what Jalen Hurts was able to accomplish, it's not an easy feat, and history has proven that to you.
You get out there, you get on the field, and you let your play do the talking, and that's what they did. And when Sirianni was giving his speeches and giving his press conferences and saying that, we'll get it together, and how the mindset was, even when the bottom dropped out at the end of 2023, everybody just thought it was lip service. Everybody thought it was coach speak. But again, I keep bringing this up because it resonated with me when it happened. It was that speech. We talked about this the other day. Fletcher Cox put me on notice because I was one of them ones. I don't want to see a man get fired, but if there was ever a time to fire a head coach, was after that 2023 season. I was like, I understand. I don't want to see it happen, but if you do it, I get it. I ain't gonna be mad at you if that happens. But when Fletcher Cox said what he said, I did a complete 180. I was like, this dude has got something, because nobody puts their chips on the table when they don't have to. Keep that money in your pocket. You have nothing to gain from doing that. Nothing. And he did it anyways. And I was like, he got something special. You on the way out. Your legacy is set. But you stop to make this point. Why you do that? You do that because the guy that you're talking about means that much to you, that you got to go the extra mile for him. You don't do that for everybody. Some people don't even do that for their own family. But when Fletch did that, I was like, my ears perked up. I said, he got something. We just don't see it because all we concentrate on is the foolishness. Yapping with the fans, and they still was talking at that time. They were still talking about the Flowers speech when he was introduced, and everybody wants to accent the negative and just kind of gloss over all of the good things that he did. Well, what does he do? What is a CEO coach? Now you know. Now you know.
He has the pulse of that team. He truly has the pulse of that team. And
you
know it because every time these players are speaking, they're constantly referencing everything Sirianni says. You can't be great without the greatness of others. Contributions over credit. Like they've truly adopted this man's language.
Correct.
And it permeated. In the America's Game documentary, and then we could transition to our bowl predictions and whatnot, and the Jalen Hurts talk real quick because we can make that quick. In the America's Game documentary, Jalen Hurts spoke about how the one thing he respects so much about Nick Sirianni is the things he preaches and tells them to focus on as far as the details and the fundamentals. Because he says details and fundamentals requires no talent.
Right.
He says something along the lines of having your eyes in the right place doesn't require talent. You know, being where you're supposed to be doesn't require talent, right? You know, having like just there are certain things that he was just indicating that what we focus on, because the talent's going to take over. The talent is going to take over. You're in the NFL. The talent is going to do what talent does.
Right.
But where guys go wrong in this league is their lack of attention to the details, to the fundamentals, to the basics of the game that got them there in the first place, because they think talent is just enough. So then I take it a step further and I think about what Jalen Hurts said and Nick Sirianni said about when they went into that bye week. They said that was the most they've talked ever.
Yeah.
They said that was the most. Hurts and Sirianni said, if you check our call logs, you'll probably see Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni. They said that week 5 bye week was the most they've ever communicated in that span ever. That's how serious they took getting this team on the right track. Like 63 Mortis said, tough, detailed, together. So I'll say all that to say, when you think about Jalen Hurts entering year 6, entering his 5th year as a starter, as a Super Bowl MVP, a champion, an All-Pro, a Pro Bowler, right? A 5-year team captain with the gold patch on his chest. When you think about all those things Jalen Hurts comes into the season with, what are you looking for in Jalen Hurts in this game tonight? Let's just focus on tonight. What are you looking for?
Man, the same thing we always look for. Control the offense, no turnovers. Make the throw you need to throw. Get everybody involved. And, you know, I want him to do the things that he knows how to do. Go through your progressions, get the ball out of your hands. And when you got to take off, do what you do best. So I got Jaylen. I think this year Jaylen's going to go over 4,000. I just think he is. I just think because everybody's going to concentrate on stopping Saquon.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Saquon obviously did what he did last year, and it's just like teams there's no surprises now. Teams are literally going to just say, you know what? Fuck it. Stop Saquon. We can live with the results.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes, man. Let's get to some bold predictions. Let's get to some score predictions, and we're out of here, man. Again, you know, we were live on Monday, and you know, I know we didn't technically anticipate doing a pregame show today, but we made it happen, and I appreciate you for making it happen as well, my man. Let's get to our bold predictions first. So, do you have? Give me a bold prediction for the offensive side of the ball, and give me a bold prediction for the defensive side of the ball.
Bold prediction on offense: Jalen Hurts throws for over 300.
Interesting.
On defense, Jihaad Campbell gets a sack.
That must mean you got this game close.
I got it 24-14. Or, yeah, 24-14.
Okay, so your bold prediction is Hurts goes for over 300 yards passing.
Correct.
Jihaad Campbell gets a sack.
Yep.
Is that really bold, though? The Jihaad Campbell sack.
He's a rook.
Add some sauce to it, Marcus. Sauce it up.
Maybe he gets his first pick, too. He done dropped 2 of them in preseason. I'm tired of our defense dropping picks.
I like it. Did you hear what Zach Ball said in the documentary? He said he dropped the pick, the same pick he caught in the Super Bowl. He said he dropped that same pick in practice, but because his hand was taped. Because he said he was dealing with some index finger issues, so he had his hands taped. He had the index finger and the middle finger taped, and he dropped the interception in practice. So he said when the game started, he said, "You know what? No tape. It's the Super Bowl. I'm going balls to the wall."
Yeah.
And same play, caught
same
it.
Thing. But as funny as it sounds, that he dropped that because he didn't get his elbows together. That's what they used to tell me when I used to do punt return. Get them elbows together so the ball don't slip through, because that's what happens.
I ain't mad at it. And so, okay, so I like your prediction. Jihaad Campbell gets a sack and a pick, and Jalen Hurts goes for over 300 yards. Okay.
300.
Okay. Now,
Alex says Bakuba warming up with the starters.
Interesting.
Okay. Hey, listen, it don't make me never mind. As long as he balls.
I'm not mad at it either. Vic Fangio put the best people on the field. Simple as that.
Exactly. I know what Fangio is about, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, put the best people on the field, man. So here's my 2 bold predictions: one for the offense, one for the defense, and here's my score prediction. So, my bold prediction for the offense. My bold prediction for the offense is I say John Mechie catches a touchdown today.
Nice.
That's very niche, very, very esoteric. I say John Mechie catches a touchdown today.
I like that.
That's my bold prediction for the offense. And for the defense, my bold prediction, Jordan Davis leads the defense in sacks.
Oh, I like that.
And TFLs.
I like James. Sam Howell starts the fourth quarter, throws for 100 yards.
So there we go, you guys.
Time stats with Dak Prescott. That's funny.
That is funny. So there you have you guys. My offensive bold prediction, John Mechie catches a touchdown from Jalen Hurts. My defensive bold prediction, Jordan Davis leads the defense in sacks and TFLs. My score prediction, though, I'm going to say 33-20.
Okay.
33-20. I think the game is, competitive early on, of course. But I think, like the Eagles do, they lean on you. And I think they get a crucial turnover in their own territory, and in Dallas' territory, and they score quickly, and next thing you know, the game is out of hand. So I think the Eagles win this game 33-20. 33-20. And your prediction was 24-17?
24-14.
24-14. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. All right, you guys. That's the show. That is the show. That has been your first pregame show for the 2025 NFL season. Week 1, Eagles versus Cowboys. Lincoln Financial Field, baby. You guys asked for it and you guys received. We appreciate you guys for being so locked in on this content with us, man. We appreciate you guys for falling in line and following suit with us, finally putting a name to the bullet, finally putting a name to this content that you guys have been getting weekly. And as a reminder, you guys are going to be getting the show twice a week for the remainder of the season, twice a week. That's Sundays for pregame, game days for pregame.
Yep.
And you guys are going to be getting this on Tuesdays as well, the NFL's universal day off. Okay? And we're going to be reacting to not only Eagles games and Eagles content, but we're also going to give you guys some of our perspectives on and things we saw from that previous week, be it in the division, be it from other teams in the conference and the rest of the NFL, games that stood out to us, performances that stood out to us. We're really going to lock in, you guys. So we really do appreciate you guys for locking in with us and truly being supporters. Let's make sure we got all our super chats out the way. We sure did. We appreciate all of you guys for donating. And it's straight like that. Any final words, Coach, before we get out of here?
Check me out on Pro Fan Talk. I will be doing a live watch of the game.
Yeah, and don't forget to send me that link because I definitely want to pop in.
Oh, I will do that. And when I do live stream, the live link will be active. So if you actually want to come on and give your thoughts on what's going on, you'll be able to do that. But mostly, it's literally going to be me watching the game. So, I'm sure I'm going to have some things to say, and it'll be a couple of outbursts. You know how it go. So check it out. I had scheduled it for 8:00, but I'm gonna get me something to eat real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So probably at like 8:15, I'll get it started. So, but I'll be rocking and rolling before the kickoff. So come on over to Pro Fan Talk.
Straight like that, y'all. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You guys have been tuned into the first pregame edition, the Week 1 edition of the Bald Eagles podcast, featuring Coach Markus, also known as Markus Thomas, and I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. We're out of here, you guys, and let's go get this W. And
Go
straight
Birds.
like that. Go Birds.
Talking game day, huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle, soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bring Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die.